What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. I'm on the nose. Whiskey in the Six. What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob, doing the Springbank 17-year-old Madeira Wood, 47.8%. This is a 2020 bottling, so bottled in October of 2020, distilled in November of 2002, so it's almost 18 years old. Gonna nose it, taste it, and give it a mark. So this bottle was aged in ex-bourbon and ex-rum for almost 15 years and then moved to Madeira for 3 full years. My guess is whatever casks didn't make it into the 15-year-old rum release of 2 years ago, or 2019 anyway, were saved and then put into Madeira for this expression. 47.8% is such a great ABV for this whiskey. On the nose, there's like a honey sweetness, definitely like a piney note, like a little bit of pine. You get that Springbank funk that everybody's familiar with, like that musty, almost like dank wood kind of smell. Really, really nice. This is one of the rare times though where the palate is actually better than the nose. On the palate, great viscosity on this whiskey here. All those flavors that I was mentioning on the nose, all those aromas, they follow through onto the palate. You get that little bit of pine, you get that Springbank funk, a little bit of smoke, not exactly peaty, but it's got some peatiness to it. That honey, maybe a little bit of berry. Really, really nice. Thick mouth coating. Okay, so you definitely need a sweet tooth to enjoy this one, and I do, so I really like it. Only 9,200 bottles. Again, 47.8%. You do not have to add a drop of water to this. It drinks awesome. Viscosity, palate-wise, just like no heat whatsoever. I just love it. I think all around on the palate, it's awesome. Probably drops a couple points because of the nose, if I'm gonna be completely honest. It was about $200 Canadian. That's what I paid for it. So I think a reasonable price for a 17-year-old that's nearing cask strength. And it's actually almost 18 years old. One last sip and I'm going to give it a mark. Yeah, that's really, really good. Definitely a really, really nice sweetness to it. Borderline like a maple syrup kind of sweetness. A little bit of pipe tobacco maybe. Yeah. Overall, really, really nice. Finding Springbank these days is really hard. This one was worth the search in my opinion. I'm really happy with the ones that I acquired recently. I acquired the 13-year-old Hazelburn, the 21-year-old Springbank. Much better in my opinion than the 25-year-old Springbank of 2020. I really like the 21-year-old. I'm going to review that soon on this channel. I also really like the 13-year-old Hazelburn. Also going to be reviewing that shortly, so stay tuned for those. This one's got to be so I don't really do this often, but I'm probably going to say that this is probably an 87 on the nose and a 90 on the palate. So if I had to weigh those together, I usually weigh the palate a little heavier than the nose, which would probably bring this to about an 89. So I think an 89 is fair for this. The palate could probably go as high as a 91 if I'm being completely honest. But the nose is lacking a little bit. Drop of water does help, but you lose that flavor on the palate with that drop of water in my opinion. So I'm gonna give this one an 89. I believe that this is just gonna get way better in the next little while. So about the halfway mark is really where this one's going to shine, in my opinion. That mark might actually bump 1 or 2, and if it does, I'll let you guys know. But for now, this is an 89. Like I said, really, really good stuff. I really enjoyed it. That's it for me, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you really like the video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can support this channel on Patreon, and I will be putting one of these, a sample from this bottle anyway, in the mystery drams for my Sixer Crew tier. So check that out if you haven't already on Patreon. The Sixer Crew mystery dram. This one's going to be included. This one's going to be pretty good for the mystery drams. I think you guys are going to really like it. Everybody's going to get something different probably, but every dram is going to be excellent. So well worth it in my opinion. My buddy Monty will be posting a video on Friday, so check that out. He has a new video coming out. He also has a couple. If you haven't checked him out already, hit the subscribe button on his channel. 6 Gin and Rock and Roll. I think you guys will enjoy it. Cheers.